Hello, I'm John Cunningham. Welcome to the RedChip Money Report. For those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focusing on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Now, today's show features interviews with executives of 3 public companies. First, Immuron Ltd, stock symbol IMRN on the NASDAQ. Immuron is a biopharma company, dual listed in Australia. It is generating growing revenue from its traveler's diarrhea product, which is sold in Australia and the US, where it's currently categorized as a dietary supplement. The company plans to pursue FDA approval this fall, which could further accelerate sales growth. Immuron is also developing a growing pipeline of treatments for a variety of infectious diseases with trials underway. Later, you will see an interview with the CEO and learn more about the opportunity. Then we'll feature an interview with SGBX, stock symbol SGBX on the NASDAQ. Now, SGBX is a leading designer, fabricator, and innovator of container-based structures that provide an innovative and economical disruption to the traditional construction market. You'll learn more about the growing traction they're seeing in the market directly from the CEO. The final company featured today is Elixinol Global. Their stock symbol is ELLXF on the OTCQX. Elixinol is widely regarded as one of the most influential CBD brands in the world. They distribute products in 40 countries globally, from the Americas to Europe and the Asia-Pacific region. Now, we'll learn more about them later in the show. Now, before we get to our first interview, our quote of the week. It comes from the book, Small Stocks, Big Money. Companies are like humans. They get knocked down, they fall down. The best ones get up and they go for the rebound. Some make it, some don't. You've got to have the fortitude to see it through. This quote comes from Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. The book is available on our website and at Amazon.com. Now let's get to our first company interview today. It's with Immuron, stock symbol IMRN on the NASDAQ.
Gary, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
You announced successful results from your shigellosis study with the U.S. Department of Defense in June. What can you tell us about those results, and what does it mean for the company and its platform?
The announcement you're referring to involves our flagship product, Travelan. Travelan is a product that we're marketing, incidentally, in Australia, in Canada, and the U.S. We market it here as a dietary supplement, and it's been generated to work against a class of bacteria called pathogenic E. coli that produce traveler's diarrhea. Now, we've had a collaboration with the Department of Defense, the U.S. Army, over the last few years, and they were very interested in seeing whether Travelan, that was generated that we're marketing and we're looking at to reduce diarrhea, would benefit the soldiers all over the world that are suspect to shigellosis. They provided us with 3 vaccines that they've been developing over the last few years to try to develop a vaccine against Shigella. We've used this proprietary technology to generate this colostrum that we've now sent back to them, and they're working in collaboration with us to see about developing a bovine colostrum product out of our technology that will work to protect their soldiers. Now, the final element of this is I view this as a terrific endorsement of our technology.
What's the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in Immuron today?
An immediate point is that we are not an antibiotic. We have this unique technology. We generate a vaccine that is against a particular antigen, like the E. coli class or like C. difficile, and then we collect the colostrum, and then we use that colostrum to treat conditions such as diarrhea, or for C. difficile to prevent the recurrent C. difficile, which is a major unmet medical need. So the business proposition really is that we are a company that has an exclusive technology. It's not an antibiotic, and there are very real reasons why the overuse of antibiotics have caused major problems for us in disturbing the microbiome. It's a great opportunity for investors who have not been aware of Immuron in the U.S. to get on board a company that has a real unique technology and opportunity to build shareholder value.
Gary, sales were up 66% in the third quarter of fiscal 2019. What's driving the growth? And do you expect it to continue?
Very importantly, we've been looking to refocus our energies in the U.S. market, and incidentally, we just launched in Canada with Travelan. Now, Travelan, as I mentioned, is our product that actually has been marketed for years in Australia as a listed medicine over there. It's marketed there to treat travelers' diarrhea. And we've refocused our energies, in particular here in the U.S. and in the Canada, where we've launched specifically to travel clinics that deal with individuals who are going to places where they can be at risk. And we've also been using podcasts over the last couple of months to really start to educate individuals in the U.S. who are not aware of the opportunity to really protect themselves against travelers' diarrhea with our product, Travelan.
Now, Gary, while you grow Travelan sales, you are also pursuing formal FDA registration of your antibody drug candidate as a drug to treat travelers' diarrhea. What's the timeline for this pathway?
That's a great point. And as I mentioned earlier, although our product in Australia is a listed medicine, here in the U.S. it's a dietary supplement. And I have a background in drug discovery, drug development. And when I came on board, I saw a media opportunity to take Travelan and take it through an FDA process for development to an approval as a drug specifically to prevent travelers' diarrhea. There's nothing on the marketplace that it has a claim to prevent travelers' diarrhea. And so with a product that already has had considerable use in Australia and we believe has an excellent safety profile, we made the decision to take this and rapidly move it through an FDA process. It's called the 505(b)(2) path towards a registration and approval. And we would then be the only company that can claim and can market this specifically to prevent travelers' diarrhea. We believe that would considerably increase the market, the commercial footprint for Travelan, and that's been now a major focus of the company.
Gary, you were awarded a patent for your C. diff treatment in April. Tell us about the development underway and your plans for FDA approval.
C. diff, it relates to our second drug candidate that is in the clinic, and that's called IMM529. Now, Travelan, as I mentioned, is directed towards preventing travelers' diarrhea, and we have it in clinical development under a different IND. The 529 is the drug candidate that involves vaccinating cows specifically against C. difficile, and then collecting the colostrum and then using it to treat people with what is called recurrent C. difficile. Now, C. difficile produces a very severe type of gastroenteritis that is life-threatening. And what is the fundamental problem is that the use of antibiotics generates an altered microbiome, which allows what would normally be a controlled bacterium such as C. difficile to take over. And when it takes over and releases its toxin, it produces a severe gastroenteritis, which can lead to death. And so it's a very severe problem, and it's considered by FDA as an unmet medical need. Now, the real problem is that when someone comes down with a C. difficile infection in the hospital, the standard of care is to use an antibiotic. The problem is when they use that against that C. difficile, which is a very hardy bacterium, they get recurrence of the condition. And every time they use the antibiotics again, which disturbs the microbiome, they get a greater percentage of recurrence. So it's a major unmet medical need. And we believe that we have a great opportunity with the IMM529 candidate that's shown terrific data in animal models, in mouse models, which are highly predictive of what we anticipate seeing in humans. And so we want to make a concerted effort to develop 529 to treat recurrent C. difficile.
Some of the company's directors recently increased their position in Immuron. We love to see insider buying, and I just want to note that for our viewers, that's always a positive sign. So today, Gary, let's recap the story. What's the main takeaway for investors?
So, in a nutshell, this is a company that has not had much visibility here in the U.S. And that is something that I'm really looking to really correct, because I believe that this is a company that has a terrific technology. We have two major clinical candidates with great promise. We also are unique because we're not just a development stage company, we're a commercial company. We market already a product that we have marketed for a number of years with what we believe is an excellent safety profile. So what we have is a commercial footprint with a product that is growing, as well as a development program that has great potential in unmet medical need. And this is a great opportunity for those who are interested in biotech companies with great upside potential to take a good hard look at Immuron, because we believe we've got a very exciting future in the next few years.
Gary, thanks for being with us today. Great story.
Well, thank you.
Now, to get more information about Immuron, visit imrninfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free. You can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. Now let's go to our second company interview. It's with SGBX, stock symbol SGBX, and they're on the NASDAQ.
Paul, thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure, Dave. Thanks for having us.
Now, SGBX is a premier innovator in advancing and promoting the use of code-engineered cargo shipping containers and purpose-built steel modules. Let's start with an overview of your products.
Sure. So SGBX, as you mentioned, we're in the modular construction business, and we've approached it from a very organic and sustainable way. We repurpose shipping containers that are aggregating on our side of the oceans because of our trade imbalance, and through proprietary algorithms and engineering and experience, we convert those intermodal units of transportation into intermodal units of construction.
What is the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in SGBX today?
That's a great question. Number one, everybody understands what a huge vertical construction is. It represents an enormous part of our economy. Almost everyone's business intersects with construction, whether or not they're gifted or skilled at being able to do it. So the value proposition for SGBX is that we have proprietary technology, we have access to exclusive inventory, we're a market leader, we have 70 million plus in signed contracts in our backlog, and we have the premier innovative project in construction. We're living in the era of major construction problems, which gets expressed in our society as a housing crisis. People are building at $500 or $600 per square foot in urban markets, and we're never going to be able to house businesses and students and families and millennials. That price point won't work. So our value proposition is we're undervalued as a stock. We offer our clients a better product in half the time in an eco-sensitive way. And we believe that traditional construction has had a monopoly long.
Talk to us about your business model. How does the company make money?
So we operate as a platform. The proof is in the pudding, and we have some nice-sized projects to bring to market, which I think will be catalytic in opening the doors for the rest of our business model. We provide an end-to-end sustainable solution for people that want to develop real estate for themselves or for their businesses. So what we do is we can take a concept from, I have this piece of property, it's zoned for this, and we can take you all the way through and give you the keys at the back end. And in between, we can do as much or as little of that work, depending on the sophistication and the support network of the client. So we have the capacity to deliver everything. We target 20% margins. Our value proposition on the client side is that rather than building with prevailing wage in 110 degrees in the West Coast and 20 degrees below zero on the East Coast, we can build at a very modest wage in 68 degrees in Texas and Pennsylvania and give you better quality, made out of steel, and our structure stacked 9 high. The majority of the construction market in America is 10 stories and below, except super big buildings in super big cities. So we are a part of that movement in the modular construction that knows the only way to disrupt traditional construction is to do it prefabricated, and we're well on our way to doing that.
You recently announced your 2019 first quarter financial results with an increased top-line revenue performance and gross margin expansion. Talk to us about the growth in revenues and discuss your 2019 goals.
So the 2019 goals is to get top line revenue to double plus or minus from last year, which was $8 million in sales. Our margin for the first quarter was over 30%, but we traditionally target 20%. We have a very large project in our backlog, which we've been working on for a couple of years. It's a $55 million workforce housing project in the Monticello, New York area. We have a lot of time and effort invested in that, and we think that'll really tell the story both to the marketplace and to the consumers of our product that you can go green, do modular, hit great price points, and most importantly, deliver a structure that's earthquake and hurricane resistant in this day and age of crazy weather events related to climate.
What is the major difference in your products and your competitors?
The number one competitor we buffer up against is always traditional construction, who has had their foot in the door. It's typically privately owned and multi-generational. So that's what we compete against. Of all the forms of modular construction, we're most comfortable with the containers because A, it's a recycled material, and B, it's the only form of construction where you actually start with a finished module built to a 120-page specification called the Convention for Safe Containers. And what we're doing is applying algorithms to deconstruct it, while all other forms of modular construction have to start by actually building the base frame. And it doesn't make economic sense for them to build what an 8x40 container is 8,000 pounds empty. It is really meant to be robustly challenged in the built environment.
Paul, to recap today, what's the main takeaway for investors?
If you're looking to get in on a great stock who's undervalued, whose backlog is going to unfold over the next 8 quarters, if you're interested in the next thing, and if you want to be a part of the disruption of traditional construction, which has not yet happened, visit SGBX, follow our story, because we're the future of construction.
Paul, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Now, to get more information about SG Blocks, call us at 1-800-RedChip, or you can email us at info@redchip.com. Now let's go to our third interview today. It's with Elixinol Global, stock symbol ELLXF. They're on the OTCQX.
Paul, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. Good day.
Now, Elixinol is one of the world's most influential CBD brands with nearly 3 decades of experience in the hemp industry. What can you tell us about your products and what makes your products unique in the market?
Absolutely. Elixinol is one of the premier CBD companies in the world. It's easy to say for a lot of people, but the reason why it's so good is because of the technology behind it. The technology is driven by myself and the president of the US division, Gabriel, our innovation that we have created since our inception. So I've been doing this for 25 years, and I truly believe the reason for taking these products to the world is actually for its efficaciousness. So the fact that these products actually work. We've created a range of technologies that ensure that the whole plant spectrum, the cannabinoids and all the terpenoids and all the best that the plant has to bring is stabilized, is safe, and is the same in every single product that people receive from Elixinol. The number of technologies that we have, including things like our liposomal delivery systems, these all add to an increased bioavailability within the body. And this is what sticks out from our products. And this is what most people know who stay with our products and recognize that Elixinol really is a product that is what it says it is.
Yeah, you also were part of an FDA think group or study group in which you discussed the FDA's position and thoughts on CBD and hemp. Talk to us a little bit about that experience.
Sure. Elixinol was very proud to be invited to answer some of the FDA's questions and support to explain why CBD is, in our opinion, extremely safe. And the FDA seems very keen and very positive in their move to allow and to support these claims that CBD is absolutely safe for the public. And they're in a process right now that's really being pushed by the Senate and House committees right now to ensure that it's crystal clear that CBD can be used by everybody. Since the meeting, the FDA came back and actually asked one of our medical advisors, Dr. Blair, for our support in showing the evidence of why CBD is safe. So we're very happy and openly sharing with the FDA all of Elixinol's experiences, all of the testimonials that we can't share publicly, but we can share, of course, professionally, and all the anecdotal evidence and the interest in the studies that we have to support why our products are the best and why CBD is absolutely safe and efficacious for many people.
Paul, what's the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in Elixinol today?
Well, Elixinol Global is the corporate name. It's an ASX-listed company, is based in Sydney, Australia. We have two entities there, a hemp foods business that has been my passion since the very beginning of my career, and is now developing finished food products. So it produced hemp seeds, oil, protein, and flour, which are the fundamentals, and we have a manufacturing plant in Australia, of course. But we have now moved to what I've always envisioned, which is actually producing finished products. So we now produce hemp and other herbs in capsules. We produce hemp burgers, and our hemp veggie burgers, the plant-based protein market, is something that we identified as very much growing. And we've recently launched in the supermarket, so that the mainstream, those burgers, and we look forward to seeing how that progress comes over the next 6 months or so. We've also got hemp honey and other products, nut spreads, all from hemp. So that's our hemp foods division. We've also got a medical cannabis division, which we recently announced. We received our manufacturing license from the Australian government, or the Office of Drug Control. And we've got a third division. So this is the point, and this is the difference between Elixinol Global and many companies. We have three separate individual divisions. We're a highly diversified business, and our main division, Elixinol, is absolutely a leader in the global hemp CBD space. We have a European division that has recently launched. We have a Japanese division, which is growing on a slow but steady basis and shows a lot of potential for the Asian market, as well as, of course, our focus today, which is in the US and North America. So it's a truly global company. And we recently moved into a restructure to support the ongoing growth of this globalization.
Now, the company raised $50 million recently to support its US expansion. What are the plans for that capital?
Well, that's kind of what I was just hinting to there. It's that we are in the process now of putting that into play in terms of our global restructuring. We are ensuring that the US division has the absolute best support teams and the best structure. Remember, there's many companies that have grown on the wave, have just jumped on this wave. We've grown organically from the very beginning. We are now setting ourselves up to be a company that has hundreds of millions of dollars worth of revenue in the future, and we're setting ourselves up with that structure. So that of course takes some capital, it takes some investment, and it may not show returns tomorrow, but it is something that we are very comfortable and confident to say in the next 6 to 12 months will become evident about what we've invested in. So we look forward to keeping the market informed about that progress.
Paul, talk to us about the partnership with Cambrian Alliance, one of the largest buying groups for independent pharmacies in the United Kingdom.
Great. So United Kingdom is one of our focus markets. Outside of the US, it's our biggest market now. And Cambrian Alliance is one of a number of relationships. Cambrian Alliance is the largest independent, like a broker or connector, and it's a group basically of 14 or so 100 pharmacies. So we have the exclusive relationship with Cambrian Alliance to take our hemp CBD products out to those pharmacies. So we're starting to roll that out as we speak. Whilst we also work in joint venture with another partner who's recently launched in the high street shops in the UK. So in Holland and Barrett's, you can now find our products, and that's our latest formulation, in fact, of hemp and turmeric and hemp and other things for sleep and mind and body and all these different products that are becoming extremely popular over in the UK. So we're very excited about our beginnings in the UK, and we'll continue to invest in the growth in the UK through the team that we've had set up now since the beginning of the year.
Paul, in summary, in just a couple sentences, what is the main takeaway for investors today?
If you're interested in the hemp or CBD space, then Elixinol is the global player. There is no doubt we are the #1 global player in hemp and CBD with experience, a very professional and proven board. We are well capitalized, and we have clear plans for a long-term investment.
Well said. Paul, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Now, to get more information about Elixinol Global, call us at 1-800-RedChip or email us at info@redchip.com. Now let's recap the 3 public companies we met with today. First, you saw an interview with Immuron, stock symbol IMRN on the NASDAQ. Immuron is a revenue stage biopharma. Its revenues were up 66% in the most recent quarter, and growth is expected to continue in the near term. Immuron also has a robust development pipeline that could provide significant further upside from positive trial results. Learn more at imrninfo.com. Then SGBX, stock symbol SGBX on the NASDAQ. SGBX is disrupting the traditional market for commercial and even residential construction. Its container-based systems provide lower costs and quicker build times while reducing environmental impact. Large projects are underway and revenue could accelerate moving forward. Call us at 1-800-RedChip to learn more. Now, the final company featured today is Elixinol Global, stock symbol ELLXF on the OTCQX. Elixinol is widely regarded as one of the most influential CBD brands in the world. With a proven track record of growing and extracting premium quality hemp, Elixinol is one of the few CBD hemp extract brands with complete seed-to-sale control over its products, which are already available in 40 countries globally. Again, if you have any questions about today's featured companies, please call us at 1-800-RedChip or email us at info@redchip.com. I'm John Cunningham. Thanks for being with me today. And remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Many of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies, so please always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thank you for being with us today.